What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Today I think I'm gonna go back to kind of how I used to do videos and just rant for a bit about learning, because I didn't really have like any topic that came to my mind that I really wanted to talk about. And to be honest, for the last week my motivation for taking videos went down a little bit. Honestly, my motivation for everything went down a bit because I just finished taking the JLPT and I was really just full blast into that, I guess, for like the last 3 months. So I took a small break, but I'm trying to get back on track. And I think that leads nicely into my first point, which is whenever you're learning anything, whenever you're trying to do something in your life, you're gonna go have ups and downs no matter what. And if you judge yourself too harshly for those ups and downs, okay, you're actually gonna get into a bad cycle where you're not able to get out of them. When you understand that it's just part of the process, it becomes a lot easier to get back out of them. But you also need to be kind of like, strict with yourself in a way to where it's like you can't just let yourself say, oh, it's okay if I never get back on the horse. Like, you, again, learning things, it's all about like riding that fine line between doing too much and doing too little. Okay, thinking this way too much and or not thinking that way at all. You know what I'm trying to say? It's a very gray area. It's very nuanced with a lot of things that you learn no matter what. And the strategies you employ, you have to kind of know when to use them, when to hold back. And how do you get that? Well, you basically get that from just experience doing it and listening to a lot of different people. But yeah, anyways, again, I'm just gonna ramble. So if you want to listen to rambling, this is the video for you, because again, I don't have anything in particular to talk about and I just want to put out a video. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a scarf, it's because fuck it, I like it, that's why. Anyways, first point, you need to train in a low stress place and move up, okay? So basically, I think that this is true for kind of anyone. Learning in a low stress environment is very important, okay? If you're too, like, everybody makes mistakes when they first start learning something, obviously, because you're a beginner and you don't know anything. But if you're in an environment where you're constantly criticized for every single mistake you make, or you're really harsh on yourself for every mistake you make, that's actually going to hold you back in the long run. Because in order to grow, in order to actually get better, you have to constantly make mistakes. You have to be kind of pushing yourself outside of your current comfort zone. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you push yourself outside of what you currently know, you're going to start making mistakes again. So it's literally just part of the process, okay? But if you're judging yourself too harshly on those mistakes, well, it's going to become extremely difficult to actually make progress, because when you go to do your skill, you're going to be too scared to actually explore new ideas and try new things, and that's going to hinder your progress, obviously. So you need like a low stakes learning environment, which is why when I see, like, for example, people that want to learn English, but they have they've not done any input up to this point. They don't really understand even basic English, but then they put themselves into kind of a high stress environment of like an English class with a lot of other students. They're not actually able to learn because the level of stress is just too much. They don't want to make mistakes, okay? And this is going to depend on the person. Some people can deal with like a higher stress environment and they're more okay making mistakes in front of others. And I'd argue that's a good ideal to reach for, is being okay with making mistakes in front of other people. That's kind of a different topic. But some people need more of a low stress environment, whether that's talking to like an AI or just not even talking at all and just doing input, which I actually recommend, for the first little while until you start really understanding quite a bit in your language. I think really input is the way to go. But it's the same for, this is why we practice and don't just go straight into the game, right? Practice is more of a low stress environment. So you should be spending a majority of your time training in these low stress environments where you're free to kind of explore and do whatever you want. And another thing that people do is they place constraints on themselves that actually make what should be a low stress, easy to learn environment into a more high stress environment. For example, yeah, I need to talk about this actually in a video. For example, when they play like a video game or they play anything that has like an ELO rating attached or a rating attached to it, they actually put themselves into a very high stress situation by relying too much on their elo for how they feel as a person or things like that, or just caring too much about their elo, then you turn what should be a low stress learning environment into a high stress environment where you're not actually learning, you're not actually exploring and trying new things. Okay. And I think both are important, obviously, exposing yourself to high stress environments. But I think that truly, once you do it enough, you start to learn that once you have a belief in yourself and a confidence in yourself, and you've learned enough things over the time, you start to realize that low stress environments and high stress environments are one and the same, because the things you do, kind of the way you need to act, the way you perform, really it's kind of the same. Like, you want to be, even when you're in a high stressed environment, you want to remain calm and a little bit relaxed, okay? Because that's going to keep you open to opportunities and open to trying things, okay, and surprising people. I'm talking specifically about combat sports, I guess, or competitive endeavors, but just in general, being more relaxed than other people, still being open to information, still being able to, kind of move freely in high stress environments is like something that's really important if you want to get good at any competitive skill. But obviously, it's going to help you just in life in general. All right, next up. So yeah, I ranted about that. I don't know. But anyways, next one. You have to actually change to learn something, okay? And this is the problem. Like, people are very comfortable where they are. They like to make an excuse that, for example, they can't change, they're not smart enough, okay? Or they're not naturally talented. But really, deep down, I think they know that they could do it. It's just behind like a huge wall of effort. So yeah, if you want to change, first off, just accept the fact that it's going to take effort, okay? But if you're moving towards something that you care about, and you're moving towards something where you really want the result, that effort is going to feel like less effort because you know it will pay off in the end. So you have to keep that in mind. But anyways, in order to change, in order to learn, you have to be very open to letting go of your previous beliefs. Okay, I was thinking about this, the other day, because throughout my life, I feel like whenever I have like an item or something that I've had for a long time, of course, just like everyone else, I kind of feel like I can't throw away that item because it has sentimental value. But then I think about, like, what is it serving to me now? It had a purpose at some point in time, but now does it have a purpose, and will it ever have a purpose in my future life beyond, just looking at it, I guess, as a memorabilia? And the answer is generally no. Okay, so I kind of think the same way with like beliefs and the way we think about skills and things like that. Okay, is that belief you have that this is the right way to do something, is it actually working? Does it actually serve you? And in the future, is it actually going to help you? And if the answer is no, then we have to like actually let go of that. We have to take that belief and let something else new come in and take its place. And that's basically learning, is getting rid of the things that don't work, keeping the things that do, and consistently adding new information to improve, okay? So anyways, my point was, like, I've always been the kind of person who can just throw away things that from the past. I don't need, like, if I go somewhere, I don't feel like I have to take a picture of it. I just feel like I can experience the moment for what it is. And I feel like that's the exact reason that when I'm learning, I sometimes improve more quickly than others, is because I just let go of things that don't serve me. Okay, if this isn't correct, even though I thought it was correct, it doesn't mean I'm stupid. Okay, it just means, like, that's logically how I thought about the situation. I made the best inference I could based on the information I had. And then when I found out it was not good or incorrect, or somebody logically explained to me how to do something better, I decided, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to switch and do that. And just let the old belief go in the wind, because it's not going to serve you. And there's something better waiting for you in the future. Okay? All right, next up, you have to be selfish with your time if you really want to learn. The problem is, so many people say they want to do something, but then when it comes down to it, they don't actually spend any time doing that thing. They don't sacrifice anything to accomplish whatever it is. Okay, I'm not perfect. I fall into this too. I say I want to do things like, for example, this YouTube channel. I didn't do anything on here for like a week. But obviously, yeah, you can't judge yourself too harshly. okay? You can't judge yourself too harshly. You want to get back on the horse and start doing it again. But you need to understand that you have to be selfish with your time. You have to prioritize what it is that you want. If you want to learn a skill, it's not just going to happen. You're going to have to go and get it. And how do we actually go and get it? Well, it's spending time with that skill. It's spending extraordinary amounts of time with that skill. I think it takes a lot longer to learn something to a high level than people actually realize. And once you realize that, you understand that if you actually want to do something, you actually want to accomplish something worthy for yourself, then you're going to have to prioritize that over other opportunities that may arise. Okay? And if you're trying to learn something that you don't really care about fundamentally, or that isn't so important to you, it's going to be very difficult to prioritize that thing over other things. But yeah, people are going to think that you're selfish for that. People are going to be upset that you say no to things. But actually, what happens is because you are focused on yourself and you actually have a direction and a purpose, then people actually will start to respect you for that. And your absence, when you're not going to all these social events, or you're not doing a lot of other things, or you are focused on what you're doing and where you're going. Of course, when you're with other people, you're outwardly focused as well on them and interested in what they're doing as well. Like, you can't be a dick, you know what I mean? You can't be completely selfish. But I think you'll find that because you're more scarce and your time is more valuable and you're learning a lot from whatever it is you're doing, when you go and you're with other people, they're going to respect and value you way more than maybe they would if you didn't actually respect yourself and spend time focusing on what it is you want to learn and really pushing yourself. Okay. Coffee break. All right, next up, you have to be patient. Okay? Honestly, in life, you just have to be patient no matter what. Things don't come quickly. All right? It takes time, whatever it is you want to do. Even if you're studying 8 hours a day on something, it's still going to take you a couple years to get where you want, probably. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month. And think, if you only study 1 hour a day, well, it's probably going to take you 8 years, 10 years, 15 years to get where you want. Okay? So you have to be patient. You have to understand that learning really is a long game. Okay? It's not something that just happens in a day. It's about having a mindset of picking up new information and consistently engaging with your target subject over a long period of time. Okay? And it works that way with people, relationships, jobs, whatever. You have to be patient. You have to put in the right actions. You have to get the right inputs and be doing the right things. And then if you're patient, good things will eventually happen. Now, if you're not doing the right things and you're not getting the right input, it doesn't matter how patient you are, nothing's going to change. Okay, so you do have to be proactive in that sense. But you have to keep in mind things are a long game, and it's going to take time no matter what. All right, and my final point I want to talk about this video is that it's so important to ignore what the people around you are doing and focus on what you want to do. Because when we're internally motivated, when we really enjoy something, those are the things that we can actually improve at. Those are the things that we can actually spend hours and hours on. And if you get too caught up in what other people are doing, even if they're doing the same skill, and you try to copy them, or you try to do what they're doing, or you try to match them, well, it's not going to work because you have your own path, okay? It's like trying to put a key in the wrong lock, right? You have your own specific path to mastery because it depends on where you want to go, what you want to do. So the second you're comparing, you should compare yourself to other people to know how good you are at your skill, okay? Kind of knowing where you stack up at your skill, watching them to see how you can improve, okay? But you shouldn't be comparing to them in an envious way, like, I need to do what they do because I want to beat them, because I want to be better than them, because of course that can be motivation on some level. And I'm not going to say that that's totally bad, because I've definitely used that as motivation before, and that has pushed me. But I think it is more important to have that strong internal motivation and understand that it's your path. And at some point, you have to just accept that you need to follow your motivation and what's right for you. Okay, because why would you want to be just like someone else, right? Like, don't you want, when you become good at whatever skill you're learning or you progress in your life, to be like your own unique archetype that is pretty much unfindable anywhere else? Okay, so whenever I meet someone like that, like, it's not common I actually meet someone that has gone through like that road deep enough, but when I do, they're always like a very valuable person. People value their time. People want to learn from them. People respect them. People are jealous of them, of course. People are jealous of them. Some people don't like them simply because they are really fucking good at whatever they do. And honestly, they're usually like, from an outside perspective, from somebody who doesn't fully understand these things, they might come off as overly confident or like a dick. Because they're selfish with their time. They're focused on what they want to do. But I actually think it's the opposite. Like, once you understand that their time is valuable, then you can approach them from the right angle, and they'll be willing to give you that time, if you're willing to listen to them and learn from them and give them some kind of value in return as well. But yeah, anyways, guys, that was my ramble for the day. I know it's different from my usual videos, so yeah, if you thought it was enjoyable, definitely let me know. I didn't really know what video to make today, so I thought, this is my safe space to safe space. This is my low stress zone to practice my skill, because in the future I think I want to help people learning more. But it's a pretty future plan. Like, right now I'm actually planning to get a job here in Japan, hopefully just to increase my Japanese level even higher. But in the future, I think I want to get into helping people learn whatever skill it is they want to learn, or transition into whatever it is they want to do, whether it comes to work or chasing a passion or whatever it is. And I think I can do that. But obviously, in order to become that person that can give that good advice, I have to, one, do it myself, which I'm currently have done before to some extent and in the process of doing. And two, I have to practice relaying this information over and over and over again in a low stress zone, so that by the time it comes where like the opportunity arises for me to take this path, then I'm ready and I've already done the preparation. So anyways, guys, I guess that was just a delve into like kind of my mindset and the way I think about things and learning, and maybe it can help someone. I don't know. Anyways, if there's something you want me to talk about or something you want me to cover when it comes to learning, I'll make a video specifically for you. So just leave a comment. Anyways, guys, please leave a like and subscribe. Have a great day.